I'm Eric Nason with Newsshooter.com, and we are at NAB 2018. We are here at the Light Bridge, and I'm with Jacob. How you doing, Jacob?
Hi, fine. Awesome to meet you. Fine.
Awesome.
Thanks for the interview.
Oh, absolutely. Awesome to meet you, too. We were going by the booth. Yeah. We saw some interesting aluminum, what I think are reflectors. These look pretty great.
Sea reflectors, serious stuff. Yeah.
These are like, you know, reflectors on steroids is what I kind of think. Talk to me a little bit about this new product.
Well, it was developed originally. The idea had a cinematographer called Christian Berger. He did all the Michael Haneke movies. We did By the Sea with Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt last here in the States. So the thing really is saying, how do we want to work with lights? We're going into situations now we're shooting digital, we need less light, we have to shoot faster with budget and all this stuff. We want to keep up the quality, right? So the whole thing was, how are we shooting these days, or how are we shooting the last 70 years? We set up a light, we don't want to like what the light does, so we put in a frame, it's frosted, we put on a chimera. Then the light's all over the place. Now we have to put in egg crates, we have to do flags and frames. Suddenly you got this whole stuff standing around, all in your way of actually doing what you should do, is creating beautiful light. Also with turning around, moving fast and stuff. So the idea that Christian had at the time was, and I came along 8 years ago as his gaffer, was to reverse engineer the whole thing. To say, the actual problem is the light source is wrong. So let's go back and try to fix that before we do a lot of updates and updates and updates and get the whole set crammed up. So what we came up with was this beautiful aluminum brushed reflectors, and you'll see how smooth and even they are. That all been 2 years of development now, after running through different stages with this through the last 15 years almost. So we're really happy now to be here in the States to show this to all of you guys, because we feel it's ready now to leave working on set, going back to the workshop, preparing it, going back to the next show to really have a product we know is safe, you can work fast with it, plus you get an amazing quality and light and shadow. So that's what we're sharing right now. Yeah.
Fantastic. So you have different sizes for different purposes.
Exactly.
Maybe go through some of the sizes to explain to me how they work best.
So first off, it's a diffusion, right? So the reflector, it's about controlling diffused light without flags and frames. So what we did is we have 4 different kinds of diffusions. Diffusion 1 to diffusion 4. Diffusion 4 is the most diffused. And from there you go to different sizes. It starts out, sorry, I'm from Europe, so it's on centimeters. It's 7 by 7 centimeters, 50 by 15, 25, and then you go 50, and then you go, the beauty staying over there is the meter by meter. Yeah.
Now we're actually being lit right now by, what, a 300 watt Fresnel?
700 watt 4.7, beautiful BBS light, yeah, Lico.
And it's bouncing right over here.
Exactly.
And so we're getting really nice soft fill light. So actually this is a great example of what the lighting is going to look like.
It's all about quality, light and shadow, and how efficient and fast you can do it. So you're spending your time not setting up lights, but actually lighting. Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, this is not just a generic piece of brushed metal.
No.
There's a lot of thought and process and planning that went through to get this just right.
It's like the 8 years have been about finding the quality that Christian wanted to have and to really have a nice, beautiful display of reflectors so you can do everything. But at the same time, it's also what, you know, what's happening at the back. It's not just quality that's happening in the scene, but about how efficient you can work in the background and how safe you can work in the background. So we changed 2 years ago. We had at the back, we had magnets, and we changed this now 2 years ago to a rail system, basically. So you have a C wheel that we made. I'll just take this out for a moment. So, and here's the C wheel, and you open it up. So, and take it out. So you've got this rail here, and basically there's an easy access point, and you've got the wedge here and the C wheel. You go in, fix it, and off you go, and you're finished. The thing is, we work together with a laboratory. Everything's been tested in the lab, so this will hold up to 3G force. You can mount on cars, the rattling, nothing will happen. It can go to really hot, really cold, and fast temperature slopes as well, because we're really proud to say you can shoot with this stuff up to storm warning #1. Where all the butterflies come down, we've been in the wind channel, this stuff's been tested. We know this stuff will hold and just get you through the shoot. Which is the most important thing. So you got the C-wheel here to mount, and also what's really nice is we did a safety wedge back here. Breaks at 0.5 kilonewton, which means 0.5 kilonewton is like a fist hitting something. So if your face runs in the reflector, your face won't get hurt, but this wedge will break. That's the reason you've got this hole here. You always put a safety under here, so the reflector just dangles down, everybody's fine. If the stand falls over, same thing happens. But if you need to be really safe, like rigging outside, for example, you can replace it with an aluminum wedge, or we've got different kinds of mounting systems as well to be safe for that. So that's one thing, and the other thing I really want to point out is this even surface you got here. That was 2 years of work to get really, really straight, because with this high-tech, 97% total light reflection, it's only 3% loss, you must think. And the same thing, it's 100% color rendering. If you're shooting with horrible fluorescent tubes, you want the green look. If you're shooting in sodium vapors, you can use these reflectors, get exactly the right color toning with it, with no changes. And all of this goes into the reflectors. It has to be super smooth, straight. We've had some copycats, they try to do it, can't do it. It's all about, you know, engineering the right way. Also, aluminum bends in all directions, cold and hot. So we had found counterplates, so everything just stays the way it should be. It's a high-tech tool.
So say if I'm a guy who needs to do interviews, similar to what we're doing right now, maybe just like a cowboy, maybe a waist, what size would be the type of reflector panel that I would want?
I'd go this size or one size bigger, and that's going to do your job, basically. Because the thing is, with this high output, you need less strong, powerful light source. You can work off batteries, you can work off the house power, and you just need the size of reflectors to really get a beautiful punch. And also it's the controllability. There's a really nice fall off the way the light has. I was saying earlier that you get control over diffused light without needing flags or frames.
Very nice. Let's talk about pricing for the different sizes and availability.
Yeah, availability is here, of course, with PBNS, but Toby and Sally, no worries. You get it all through him. Price range, we got a starter kit, starts at $500, gives you a first feeling for it, gives you a full set of reflectors, first basic look at it. You could go smaller to a play kit, I think that's around $70. But basically the kit is around $4,000. You get everything in it, the full reflectors. You get a fly case with it if you want something to carry it in. We got a cheaper version you can put on your shoulders and walk around with as well.
Yeah, and I've struggled a little bit when I do my, my 4x4 or a 6x6 outside, and if it is cloudy, even my traditional expendable that I have, it really doesn't quite give me that punch.
The reason is that these surfaces, they've been engineered. They actually, if you get a physician, tell him exactly the surface, he can calculate the output and where the light's going to go. So by doing this, you just get much more bang for your bucks, basically. So it's the same thing outside as well. It's a completely game changer in the world of reflective light. You just can't even compare it anymore. Quality-wise, efficiency-wise, yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jacob.
Thank you so much for coming.